Now, what I'm showing you in this course is really a twofold process. The first is I'm just trying to develop that raw technical ability to audiate internally, to hear multiple independent lines. And this is not going to be a process that comes easy. What you need to do is just continue casually to work on these exercises every day and keep coming back to them, because this is a very simple in some ways and time consuming is what makes it difficult. It's a time consuming task to develop. But the advantage of being able to audiate, I mean, there are many advantages. You can save yourself a lot of time. You could be sitting in a grocery store in a line and you could be working on your composition. You could be waiting for a meeting and working on a composition. You could be sitting outside and working on a composition. Rather than being sort of confined to an office space, you're free and you can compose much more effectively. This is really why audiation is so important. Now, from a practical standpoint, audiation doesn't necessarily mean that you compose the entire work in your head and then you put it down on paper and it's perfect. That is the process I use now. So if you listen to my music, whether you like it or not, every single note in that music, those are the notes that I heard internally and I put them on paper. That is what I wanted to hear. Okay? So whether you like it or not, the music that I write, that doesn't matter. What matters is there's a process there of audiation that I've developed, which I am teaching you to develop too. But what you need to understand is the initial concepts that I'm teaching, the initial exercises are simple. They take about 6 months if you went straight through to learn. But once you learn them, it's going to take longer to develop the ability to actually sit there and memorize an entire piece and work out an entire piece. And there's various techniques you can use, which I'm going to talk about throughout the course, because you need memory aids. It's very difficult to simply memorize an entire piece and continue to work on it. You do have to jot stuff down, but that doesn't take away from your ability to audiate. So we're going to talk about all of that. But what I'm getting at here is that you need to make sure that you're practicing these exercises daily. If you feel they're impossible, good. That's good. Because 1 week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, 2 months from now, you're going to look back and you're going to say, okay, actually, those exercises in the beginning that I thought were impossible, they're not so impossible now. I've seen this time and time again. I wouldn't have created this course if I didn't know it could work. And if I didn't know it would work with a lot of different students from different backgrounds. I have been working on this a long time. And so these techniques work. I'm just trying to kind of motivate you a little bit to not get frustrated. Accept the challenge. Accept that, hey, you know what? I'm not going to be able to do this on day one, but I'm going to try. And then each day you come in and you try again. So if you are not seeing results and you're only doing about 4 days a week, that means you need to up it. You need to do 5 days or 6 days. If you are seeing results and you're only doing it 4 days a week, then that's okay. So you really have to gauge your level of progress based on how much time am I putting in, how much effort am I putting into it, and what is the return that I'm getting. These exercises will help to open up your ear, and you will start to hear multiple independent lines in kind of the way that I was talking about, where at first you hear maybe a melody with kind of a fuzzy background, and then it starts to become a little more defined, where you start to hear maybe the melody and the bass line, and then maybe the harmonies start coming through a little more, and then you start to hear the harmony much more clearly, where you can actually define it, and then you start to hear actual instrument timbres. And you know, while I say there's stages to this, they don't necessarily always occur linearly. Sometimes you'll be at level 1, other times you'll hear a complete concert recording, almost like it's behind your head. It's a weird phenomenon, but we tend to hear it behind our head for whatever reason. And some days you may even feel like you're in the middle of a concert and it's coming at you. That's kind of a more rare experience. But it doesn't matter. As long as you keep moving forward, you will start building those pathways necessary to complete your audiation in an effective way, and you will get better.